I had to restart that live over, but I'm here. I'm about to invite my team for the discussion for the Sorrow and the Sorrow Elated. Stay with me. All right. All right. Come on, Robbie. Join. All right. Come on, Robbie. Come on in. Come on in. I accepted it. I've accepted it. How about this? All right. I just invited you.
All
All
right,
right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I accepted it like 3 times, so I'm
there.
not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I think it's because I just got on a little too quick, a little too quickly. Because as soon as I put the request in, and it kept saying request sent, and I'm like, okay, he's not getting it. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, man. Hello, hello, hello to the viewers out
Hey.
there. Yeah, this is a discussion live for the Sorrow and its sequel to Sorrow Related. Feel like you guys want to know and see more about it, so here we are to give you guys what you want, and also like I want to answer a few questions from you all, and talk about our campaign, our GoFundMe campaign, which we're raising funds for the production as this team is growing, the cast is growing, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. In fact, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share it with a few people real quick.
Same.
Uh, yeah. Let me. All right. There we go. All right.
Same. We're gonna do that
So I
real
shared it
quick.
with a few people, including the networking group chat, so they can all watch.
Yep, yep, yep. I am sharing it as well.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh man. I feel, man, my hair is growing really fast. Fast. I just chopped this a few months ago, man,
Oh
and it's already
man.
growing. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Some strong genes. Yeah. You looking fresh, bro. You got the glasses and everything.
I mean, like, I wasn't going to get on here looking any kind of way.
I'm like all. I'm all chill. It's like we're Zach and Cody. I'm like the very I don't want to say frivolous, but the more like carefree, and you're like all like buttoned up, you know.
You know, I'm like I'm freshly showered, ready to go. All right, all right, all right. So let's just dive on into it, and whoever joins. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
So, do you have anything you want to say about what's to come or what has happened? Shout out, by the way, shout out to everybody that came out to support the Sorrow during this film festival
yeah,
run. It just wrapped up. We got into 5 different film festival events, and we're grateful and happy about that. We are. We're grateful and happy about that, and we won an award along the way. I'm still kind of like, shaken by that because I'm like, oh, this is really happening. This is really happening. So
yeah,
again, shout out and I'm thankful for you all. Thank you for the support.
yeah. It's been amazing. I want to give a shout out to my parents for coming out and everyone who
Yes.
supported. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's my parents. They've gone to like they've gone to a lot of my premieres, so they've always been very supportive. And and thank you for everyone who's really really enjoyed the Sorrow, and I hope you all feel inspired. After the first film, and this sequel, the sequels are gonna be even better. This one you'll definitely get some much more uh more exotic shots and like camera angles for this one because I have some really cool ideas. So and
Same.
yeah.
I have some ideas as well about how this is to go. The script is done, so there's no spoilers. But you guys are going to get a run for your money. If you've seen the film already, the microfilm, it was only like it was only a few minutes. It was only a few
Yeah.
minutes, which originally that was all it was going to be. But during the run, you guys let us know that you wanted more. So
Mhm.
that's exactly what you're going to get. All right,
Yeah,
so
this one's gonna be more epic.
yes,
Yeah.
much longer, much more in depth. You guys are going to get the backstories about the two characters and then some.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So, Robbie, I got a
Yeah.
question for you.
What's up?
When it came to shooting the Sorrow, how did you feel about the narrative, and how did you feel going into it?
Interesting. I thought for the narrative, I actually thought it was very insightful. I thought it had a very clear direction of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I didn't really receive too many questions about about the story, like what was going on. It was a pretty like very vivid and clear message.
Yeah.
But heading into it, um, even though when you presented the script to me, I was trying to figure out the best way to like use cinematography to really tell this story.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it as vivid as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Like sometimes on set that we may have had to like pivot here and there, but that's just filmmaking in general. That's just how production goes.
Right.
But um, but going into it, I definitely felt fulfilled into like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to visually tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even like the subtle things that you put in there, like with the red ball, with the children and everything, and all the symbolism. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it. See, and people didn't notice that. Somebody had noticed, like, some of the first people that I showed the film before its run, before the film festival run, just out of excitement when it was all done and ready to go. And we still had to tweak it after the fact, but some of the first people I showed that they noticed the color and the aesthetic that the characters had on, and they were like, "Okay, that's unique." I'm not sure if that's intentional. And I'm like, "Yeah, pink is intentional." Like, the pink was intentional. Like, she wore pink, which was a significant. It aligns with motherhood.
Yeah.
Motherhood. It aligns with motherhood and nurturing. Pink symbolizes that. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm a color theorist. You guys know me for
That
my fine art.
is true. Those
Yeah.
photos you sent me at the film festival last year, at last year's film festival, you did show me some photos on your Instagram, some photography on your Instagram with the color coordination and everything. So that was kind of
Yes. Yes.
cool. So
Yes. Okay. I can't wait to knock on, Jordan Peele's door. Like, hey, we're 1-1 here. Let's get
mhm.
together. But yeah, so yeah, Jaren had on black and gray, which gray is neutral.
Right.
Gray is neutral. He had a gray hat on, and black, was mysterious, hidden.
Mhm.
As if you guys didn't notice, he was hidden during most of, I wouldn't say most of the film, but I guess the start of it. And
Yeah, I mean,
had
no, go ahead, go ahead.
people had questions about that too. Like when I just released this, when this was just released, like in group chats, people were talking about that. They were talking about that moment. Like, wait a minute, they were like, Ron, you weren't squat. Wait a minute. I'm like, wait, what did I do? But let's, that little detail about her going through that moment alone,
Mm.
which she didn't necessarily go through it alone. She had support. It
Yeah.
wasn't physically there, but in that moment, but she had support after the fact. And you guys will get to see and know more about that detail when the sequel comes.
Yeah, yeah, and also what I wanted to do is I wanted to visually, in terms of the coloring, like I wanted it to. I wasn't going for it to be like too gray, but like a little like I wanted the color temperature to be a little cool, just to show
Hmm.
how just to give that somber tone a little
Yeah,
bit. And I think with with Maya wearing pink, it was definitely like a bright spot. Like you saw like a little bit of innocence from it that kind of like that really stood out, which is why the pink really worked.
I agree.
You know, and so and obviously there's a well, I'm not gonna get into this, but we'll get into it later. But I do have a creative like difference for the sequel, which we'll get in, which we'll talk about like after we fit it, um after we shoot it. Maybe we can do some BTS stuff
Of
for it, like
course, when we're in the moment of
you know,
production. Yes.
yeah,
But by the way, we are casting for that. We are currently casting for that.
yes,
Again, this is taking a bigger production, a bigger cast. I have about 5 to 6, maybe an additional character might be involved in that, but I have about 5 to 6 supporting characters. So if you
mm,
guys are wanting to perhaps be a part of this story, it's on Actors Access. It's on Actors Access. You can DM me. I can send you the link so that you can submit for the audition, and we can go from there. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you
yeah,
got. But
and
that's out there.
listen,
That's out there.
yes, and I share. Look, y'all who keep asking me about this audition for the other production that I'm going on, watch this. You should be watching this because we're also I'm casting for this project as well. I'm working on 2 projects right
Come on
now, so
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah. In fact,
Absolutely.
I'm about
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
jump on this too.
Come
On it.
on, guys. Hop
Yeah,
on board.
yeah.
Let's get it going. Let's get on going. So I did have a question on here. I had a question on here for myself. You know,
Yeah.
when portraying Jaren, how was it?
Hmm.
You know, for me, um, if you guys know me again personally, you know that the narrative of Jaren is not, it doesn't align with Ron. So I've writ by this being my first official, like real in-depth film that I really, really took serious.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to really challenge myself. I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to go, beyond the norm, beyond
Yeah.
Ron, beyond Ron. I wanted to hit outside of that park. So that shocked a lot of people, which I knew it would. And I wanted to do that because you're never going to see Ron. As I had a conversation with some of my peers, as I told them, you're never going to see Ron in any scripted situation.
Mm.
And I'm going to challenge myself continuously when it comes to that. Even if you see a character closer to Ron, follow me for the ones who know, it's still not going to be Ron there.
Yeah. I mean, as an
So,
actor, you do need to play different roles too. It'd be kind of like we don't look, no shade to him, but we ain't trying to be Bruce Willis where we're just playing the same person. We're playing ourselves in every movie.
no, not at all. So, off rip, I'm training the viewers to see something different from me, to expect something different from me, because I'm going to do that. This is going
Yeah.
to help me grow as an actor, as an artist, and as a person. So, here we are. Here we are. So yeah, I guess to sum up that question is, I'm gonna challenge myself. You're gonna see different things from me, and with the sequel, the Sorrow Elated, you're really gonna see, you know, something different. And I'm happy about this sequel. I really am. I'm happy about the sequel because it's different from the Sorrow. It's not all in such a saddened space.
Right.
I want to say.
It's more it has a much more it has a less somber tone, I'll say that. It has
Yeah.
a much a less somber tone. So so it's definitely gonna be different than the first one. This one is definitely gonna be I think y'all this is definitely something special. You guys are definitely gonna get another um I don't want to say technological achievement. That's a little too ambiguous, but you're gonna see a lot more creative cinematography. You're gonna see a lot more. You're definitely gonna have a very warm fuzzy feeling when you watch it.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I agree with that. You guys are going to see a happy ending, whether for your own speculation, you guys are going to see a happy ending. I'm going to say
Yeah.
that. Okay, so when I posted this, like the questionnaire to the public, one person asked a question.
Okay.
They said, "Why did you choose this theme? Why did you choose this theme? A sequel or series as well?" They asked this generally. For me, when I wrote this, by the way, if you guys didn't know that, I wrote, directed, starred in, and executive produced this. Um, when I wrote this originally, it was just for like, I guess again, I wrote this with intention for me to star in it. Again, from an actor standpoint, I wanted to challenge myself, but this storyline was inspired by it was inspired by a story that happened in my atmosphere, a story that I can't relate to, but I got inspired by, and I created something in tribute to that, and boom, it took a life of its own. And yeah, like that's how it came about. And as far as why this is being turned into a sequel or series, it's because you guys wanted more with the short film. You guys with the micro short film, you wanted to know more about the you wanted to know more about the characters. You wanted
Mm-hmm.
to know more about the storyline. You felt most of you guys said it was too short, even though you guys liked the narrative and the quality. You guys felt it was too short, so we're giving you what you guys are asking for.
Give the people what they want.
You know, so you're gonna get what you want. You know, you're gonna get what you want, guys. That's what you asked for. So yeah, to sum up that, it was inspired by a story, a situation that happened in my atmosphere. Again, unrelatable to me, and as an actor, I wanted to put myself in that situation. So I wanted to, even though I can't relate to it,
Mm-hmm.
I connected to the story.
Yeah.
So that also like circles back to the casting of Bronze. I wanted to make sure that whoever I casted for that story, for that role, that they could connect to the story as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I know like several people, a couple of like single moms who have like kind of actually. I'm not gonna put their names out there. It's their business. Not that they really care,
Yeah,
but
they can
they
relate.
yeah, but they it definitely like encouraged, inspired me to to work on it, especially with everything going on and in the real world right now. Um, because they went through the same experience, and I just wanted to make sure that they could, that I can give people like them something that they can really relate to.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I
same.
think, yeah, and also treat it with enough respect as well, because you got people out there that want to like, roll their eyes like, oh, whatever, but this is like, because the whole point of like a film is really just to really like send like a certain
Yeah,
message, to audiences. They can
to
leave
enlighten.
yeah,
Yeah,
so they can see the movie like a little different, no matter what genre it is, whether it's sci-fi or, drama or comedy. You always want to send like some kind of message that can actually leave the audience like thinking about it even more, and feeling something different. So
absolutely, 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 absolutely. You know, like it was meant to enlighten and to show individuals that there's, hope out there for the world.
hmm
There's hope out there for the world and for people and humanity in general. Like one message that I want to put out there for me personally is that me as an artist slash filmmaker, my motive is to help individuals heal, grow,
yeah,
evolve. Um, that is my motive, like to help people, to inspire, to heal, and help people grow. I'm all for that. That is my motive in general as an artist. So yeah, know that when you see me in the space of filmmaking, especially with this storyline, that is the motive there.
yeah,
So I hope you guys know where I'm going to go from here. Like, I'm not just going to be making art. I'm not going to be making films just for the sake of it without any purpose for it. there will always be an underlying situation that has intent of why I'm creating this.
Hmm. Yeah. Because one thing about me is that yes, I do love to entertain people, but also when it comes to like art in general, like we always express we the beauty of it is that we all express ourselves in very different ways, and it just shows it's the beauty of life of like how different everyone is. Because what I like to do is I like to tell stories that kind of like because the thing about my cinematography is that I like to visually like show people I guess the way I kind of the way I kind of see it, you know, maybe the sorrow is a bad example, but just I'm just gonna use it as an example, like from a visual perspective. I like to show people like the way I kind of like view like view people in a certain light and like how they actually feel, just to kind of share that experience with others. If you catch my drift, if you know if that makes sense.
Not quite sure I understand, but I think we're on the same page. I
Okay, we'll go with that.
think we're on the same page.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say or any questions that you may have, Robbie?
let me see. Any do I have any questions? Um, so for the Sorrow Elated, want to what made you want to continue the story in this manner?
Um, when writing it, I wanted a happy ending. I wanted a
Yeah.
happy ending. I wanted a happy ending for the couple. I didn't want them to just be down and out forever.
Mm,
Um, and I wanted to be like to be hopeful for humanity.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. I wanted to, especially for Black love. Like
Hmm.
that's let's talk about that for a moment because I feel like that Black love has doesn't always have a great image.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't. And at the I was at a premiere last night about when I was watching a black love drama called Love and a Candle, and I do want to see because sometimes even on certain streaming services, which we will not name, black love is normally depicted as like very negative and
Yes,
very uh
drama
I don't
filled.
right rambunctious. I can't even think of the word
Yes,
right now. But so I actually like to show it in like a positive note, not just for the sake of it just being, black people, but just being like just being more positive and more encouraging,
yes,
because we see a lot of like, black or like romance dramas and love stories, and they're all like, happy, good, lucky, and like uppity and hopeful and optimistic. But then us, it's like we're always like kind of brought down. So it's like, why can't we have those kind of stories? I mean, just from a from our perspective, you know.
hmm
So that thing that's what makes it special. Why we always label it as black love stories is because it's from a different perspective. It's not just because it doesn't necessarily mean that it just hits different. It's just we just come from a different place,
yes,
and it's also it's about like who about like who's writing as well, and like their own like depictions of love and you know laughter and like drama and everything. So that's why this all works so well, because not everyone has the luxury of getting through you know um you know uh sensitive subject matter. The way most people are depicted, it's not as easy as people try to make it believe. So I do like the idea that this one is more hopeful and optimistic, and we will do our job to present it that way.
yes. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, yeah, that's my thing. Is like I wanted to show a great representation of Black love,
Yeah.
and you're going to see that. You didn't. You saw it in the sorrow, even though it was at a more lower point. You saw
Hmm.
uplifting there. You saw moments of hope and love. You want to continue to see that again with the sorrow elated.
Right. Yeah. So let me see. Dang, I need.
You're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. Hey, I'm getting all kinds of calls and text messages right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Hold on a second. Hey, guys, man, there's so much going on in Atlanta right now. People probably out getting drunk or something. Because they're like what 3 or 4 events going on this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's probably where everyone is at. They probably don't. They probably, I guess, for the first time, people in Atlanta are not on social media, huh?
Yes. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
All right. So
I want to
I
go
guess
outside.
just to sum that up. Just to sum that up. The Sorry Lady is coming. The sequel to the Sorrow is
Yes.
coming. We're casting for it right now. We're building the production team right now. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. And be on the lookout, guys. Be on the
Yes.
lookout. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout because it gets bigger, better, and better. And check out our GoFundMe campaign. We're running. It's been up. It's been live for about a week and a half now. And if you guys can, support this story, whatever you got, please do so, as it would dearly be appreciated. And yeah, you'll get a little bonus, note in the film. You might see your name in the credits, et cetera, et cetera. So
Absolutely.
join us. Join us on this journey. Reach out to us if you have any ideas or any questions about the production. We're here.
Yep. So,
All right, guys.
well,
Until next time. And next time, you'll probably get to see more of our team here.
yes, absolutely.
Yes. Until next time, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Later.